And just like a soldier, I keep on moving forward.
Welcome to More Fanime. I'm your fan of More Anime. What's up, everybody? Today we are going to be reviewing, I'm going to be taking a deep dive into 25 more chapters of BLEACH, the manga. To be specific, we are going to be talking about chapters 226 through 250. And it's ramping up. BLEACH is ramping up again. If you didn't know, I recently finished my catching up to One Piece reviews, and now my schedule's open. So I'm either going to add another anime review series to the channel. Haven't decided. Eventually I will, or I'm just going to power my way through BLEACH and then move on to the next big adventure. I'm kind of interested in Jujutsu Kaisen and Spy X Family, and there's a few others I'm very interested in as well, but those are the top diggity dogs right now. I mean, of course, I'm going to continue to talk BLEACH goodness, especially since the anime is returning in some shape or form. And I will continue to talk about One Piece as well. So don't you worry. I just think I should start broadening my horizon, as they say. But, you know, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. That's why I'm just going to have more grass. And I'll keep the other side. I don't know. That joke kind of fell flat. Let's get right into these 25 chapters. Honestly, the through storyline of these 25 chapters are as follows. Orihime is actually very important to the story. Apparently, she's got some godlike ability to regenerate people, something that not a lot of people can do, especially a human like her. So there's something going on with Orihime, because the Espada, or the Aaron decide to go after her. This is hard to explain, but I'll do my best. She goes to Hattenclaw's Kisame, and asks to be trained to fight in the big war that's coming. And he tells her no, and to just stay away. And I think he knew if she, got involved, she could be a potential risk, being that her power is so valuable and whatnot. So he kind of pushed her away, but that led her to go train with Rukia in the Soul Society. And somehow the Aaron card found that out, and they were able to trick the Soul Reapers, and Mr. Eisen decides to send a handful of his Espada to the human world. One of them is not a member of the, top diggity dogs, but she's he or she is a new Aaron card, and she's kind of interesting. Like, he was just created by Eisen. I don't know a whole lot about him yet, but here's a picture. The group that was sent, though, were a new member of the Espada who took Grimjow's position because he lost his arm. And I guess if you lose your arm, you're not strong. I'm assuming he lost a lot of power losing that arm. But either way, Grimjow was invited to go back to the human realm. And he went directly after Ichigo when he got there. And him and Ichigo went at it. Ichigo, by the way, has been training. He has been working on his new transformation, the mask holification transformation. And now he can sustain it for like 12 seconds. And he really beats the shizzle out of our boy Grimjow for those 10 seconds. And then when the mask dissipates, Grimjow starts to whip that Ichigo ass. And Ichigo really had no way of defending himself. It seems like after he uses that ability, he gets a little tired, a little weakened, a little defenseless. And also it's like the only kind of power he has that can actually hurt somebody like Grimmjow. And I mean, this is Grimmjow. Aizen has to be at least 5 times stronger than Grimmjow. I don't think Ichigo stands a lick of a chance. I think, you know, he's going to get the granny beat out of him if he goes head to head with Aizen too soon. I know Ichigo is working on it. He's working on getting that new holification form, but it's going to take a while. It's not going to be done in 30 days, buddy boy. So yeah, he's fighting him. Another, like I said, a group of Aaron Card or Espada are fighting some of the Soul Reapers, like Toshinori. Toshi's there, you know, our captain little kid, icy boy. He's fighting. He gets a little surprised, gets attacked by this lady, and she's the, you know, the new number 6 of the Espada. She's got these tentacle things, and she's like, I'll fight all of you by myself. And then that big dude that I compared to Nappa from the Dragon Ball series, Yami, he's there kicking ace as well. He even gets to go toe to toe with fucking Kisame, the Hat and Clogs fella. I'm not even sure if I'm saying his name right. That's why I keep saying Hat and Clogs, because I'm like, is it Kisame? Am I saying that right? Urahara, right? This dude, he's a badass. He is so cool. So cool under pressure. I like him more and more, especially when he gets the opportunity to actually fight. He's a strategic fighter, and yet he also has loads of power as well to back it up. This dude is awesome, and I mean, he might be one of my favorite mentors in, you know, all anime. He's really, really cool. Because I just recently started watching the Bleach anime. I know. Hold your applause. I did the thing, and it's pretty good. It's building slowly, just like the manga. I haven't gotten too far just yet, about 10 episodes in, and I know I'm on a long, journey there. But I've already read it, and now by watching it, I'll understand this world even more. So Kisame basically schools Yami, showing him, yeah, bud, your attack that hurt me a minute ago is never gonna hurt me again, because I figured out exactly when you're gonna throw a punch. I figured out exactly how your attacks work. So go ahead and try. It's just gonna lead to your demise, buddy. Grimmjow one-armed whoops that Ichigo ass. Rukia ends up saving him, thankfully. Shinji, this dude, who I didn't think was going to be much of a character the first time I saw him at all. But this dude seems to have full mastery of his holification form, and he's able to go toe-to-toe with Grimmjow. And honestly, I think he probably would have beaten a one-armed Grimmjow. I'm not sure who scales stronger, the Aaron Card or Shinji and his crew, his gang. But this was a good fight. It was short and sweet, and then before we knew it, the Aaron Card bounced. Cypher shows up and says, hey man, we accomplished the mission, let's get on out of here. So meanwhile, while this was all going down, like I mentioned before, our girl Orihime, she's training with Rukia in the Soul Society. Rukia ends up going back to the human world to help out with the attack by the surprise attack by the Aaron Card, because they weren't supposed to show up for another 2 months. I was supposed to give the guys some time to get ready, but we're just gonna jumpstart this arc right here, right now. So she leaves. Rukia bounces back to the human world. Our girl Orihime decides, I'm going to go with her. But it takes humans that aren't, Soul Reapers a little longer. They have to take a different path. They have to unlock the path for her to go through to the human realm, or it could be dangerous. They do that for her. She gets sent on her way back, but she gets, not attacked by Cypher, but she gets approached by Cypher, member of the, he's the 4th Espada. he decides, hey man, I'm here to offer you an opportunity that you cannot refuse. You're going to join us, or we're going to kill everyone you love. And Aizen wants to speak to you. He basically wants that power of yours. You are either going to join us, or we're going to find a way to take that from you. I'm sure that was their backup plan if she decided to say no. Cypher, the strategic man that he is, decides, hey, we're going to give you 12 hours to say your goodbyes, but you can only say goodbye to one person. And it was all a ruse. They wanted her to go say goodbye to someone important like Ichigo, and it would somehow connect them, and then they can keep an eye on whoever she said goodbye to. And it made her come more, to the Espada, join them like it's her decision. I believe it was all Aizen's master plan, and he, Aizen's Aizen. He's like, hey, she joins us, she joins us. If she doesn't, kill her. Either way, she's out of the equation. But now I have the advantage. She has the power to bring people's limbs back, as she shows on Grimmjow, and she regenerates his missing arm that was cut off by the blind guy. And he ends up killing the new girl that was the new number 6. And now he gets his tattoo fixed, the number 6. So now he's the new number 6 of the Espada, or returning member. And that's pretty cool. I like Grimmjow. He seems to have layers, like an onion, like Shrek. And I think there's more to learn about this Yae. He almost seems like he's becoming a rival of sorts to Ichigo, or at least he's the next big thing for Ichigo to overcome. My question is like, if he is the dude, the man, the guy that Ichigo's gonna have to defeat next, then who is gonna go take on Aizen? I mean, yes, we have, Rukia's brother. He's a badass, but he got beaten by Ichigo, so it might be a team effort. We might need Rukia's brother and maybe Kenpachi as a duo, as a combo. While Ichigo's taking out Grimmjow, maybe these two, maybe with some help from some other people like Toshinori, they could take Aizen down as a crew, but they're going to have to get past the Espada first, who all seem to, seem pretty powerful as they are. So Ichigo gets healed by Orihime, and she leaves secretly and joins the Espada, presumably. Obviously she's not actually going to join them, but she's going to do what they say to keep her family and friends alive. Ichigo knows she hasn't betrayed them. The rest of the crew knows she hasn't betrayed them. I mean, come on. Before I keep going, though, I did kind of skim over it. There was some really cool fights involving Toshinori and Ringaku and the Espada that show up and fight and whatnot. It was cool seeing Toshinori just show how overpowered he is. He's kind of like Gaara, but with ice. He's just naturally gifted. I'm sure he works his ass off as well. He's talented and gifted, so that's a deadly combination. He's young and just full of piss and vinegar, ready to kick ass, take names, and I really like him. I really think that he's pretty cool. He uses like an ice prism technique to seal away his opponent, and I thought that was a sick move. And I feel like we aren't even touching the tip of the iceberg of his power. I get it, iceberg, because he's got ice powers. I love that him and Rukia are the two people with like icy powers. I believe hers are snow abilities, but same diff. We'll see how her powers stack up to his later on. But what's his name? Yamato, the Grand Vizier of all of the Soul Reapers, tells Toshinori and Renji and Rukia and Ichigo, hey, seems suspicious. It seems sus as the kids say, that she showed up and healed you and took off on her own free will, supposedly. And yeah, we're not gonna allow that kind of shiz. We're just gonna let her go. Apparently, he doesn't realize how powerful she is right yet. Someone should let him in on the fact that she is a weapon, and they need to get her back on their side. He tells them to come back to the Soul Society. We have a major war coming, and we need to prepare. They're forced to come back because then Kimpachi and Byakuya show up, and I was like, oh no, what's going on? Come on, Soul Reapers. You guys are all helped at one point in some way, shape, or form by these humans, and now you're turning on them. You're not going to fight back against your boss and say, no, they rescued Rukia from us, and now we need to go rescue her. Obviously, she's been kidnapped. Are you dumb, old man? No, they all go, and it seems like, I was like, when I was reading it, I was like, oh no, now we're going to go on another rescue mission to save another, female character of the Bleach crew. But it does feel different. It doesn't feel like when Rukia was taken away. It does have a different vibe to it, but it also has, familiarity, which I'm not against either. The rest of all the Soul Reapers go back except for Ichigo. Ichigo's like, okay, send me to Hollow Land, and I will go save her by myself. I don't need any of your help. Just send me there. Give me the gate. And Yamato's like, no, you insolent brat. You're gonna wait patiently, keep training, because we have a war to fight. We can't risk losing another soldier. So eventually Ichigo goes back to school. He's depressed. I'm surprised it took him at least a day or two to figure out what he was going to do. He decides, hey, I'm just going to go to school for a hot minute. Rukia's friend and Ichigo's friend, Tatsuki? Is it Tatsuki? Yeah, the girl I feel who's the most underutilized. I really do hope they develop her in some way. She doesn't have to be a fighter, even though she is technically a fighter in the real world. So it would make sense for her character to develop into like a Videl-like character. Like cool Videl when she actually wanted to be a fighter in the early Dragon Ball Buu saga. Either way. This girl deserves a little more screen time, and she gets it here at the school. She confronts Ichigo and says, hey, where have you been? I cannot find Orihime. Usually I can feel her presence somehow, some way, which doesn't sound weird at all. I can feel her presence, and then the other day it was just gone, and now you're back here looking like a depressed slob, and you're not telling me, you're not helping her. Why aren't you helping her? Help me, help her, help you, help me. Look at me, but talk to him. And it has a really good, sad, inspiring, emotional conversation with Ichigo, pushing his head through the window at school. It is pretty brutal. Ichigo ends up walking away and telling his normie friends, leave him alone and don't go near him. He's just a danger to ya. His friend even buys him a ticket to a movie that's coming out soon. And he's like, well, don't hold your breath. I might not be around to go to this movie. Okay. Ichigo ends up going to Kisume, the hat and clogs feather. He ends up going to Kisume, the hat and clogs guy, Urahara. I should start saying Urahara. I'm pretty sure that's correct. Urahara. And he says, hey man, it's time that you send me to Hollow Land, and I'm going to go save Orihime myself. And he's like, all right, let's do it. And he's like, really? Like, you're going to be like betraying the Soul Society. And I love this because Urahara's like, it's not my first time, but look where I'm at. They don't even, I don't know how they haven't found me yet. Or they don't care and he's too dangerous and they just leave him alone to do his own, black market thing. He ends up saying, all right, you go. I don't know why Urahara never goes with Ichigo. I just assume he's got other things he's got to do. He's always planning on the off screen, doing things. Big brain, Urahara is. He sends Ichigo, but not alone. He gathers a team that didn't go to the Soul Society. Yes! The forgotten characters, the humans! Chad and Yuryu, the Quincy, Chad, the man, the myth, the legend. They both have improved their abilities. Even Ichigo tells them, hey man, your guys can't come with me. You're not strong enough. The Espada are too powerful. Maybe stay here and fight some basic hollows. Keep everybody else safe while I'm gone. Watch my sister, keep everybody, happy and well fed. Just, there's going to be hollows and shiz everywhere. Just keep, you guys are the defense team. You guys are the help people out, save people while they're getting hurt team. You're not the front lines kind of guys like me, Ichigo. And Chad shows him the power he's obtained. And he's like, is that powerful enough for you? I'm Chad and I'm your friend and I'm going with you. And Yuryu says I'm not with you. I'm going to save her. And if you want to go with me, that's great. I'm actually not supposed to be hanging out with Soul Reapers anymore, according to my daddy. But since you're basically going against the Soul Reapers Society orders anyway, you're basically not aligned with them right now, so it's kind of a loophole. They even show Urahara steal Yuryu from his father and say, come with me through this portal, away from your dad. We're going to go save Orihime. Is that cool? And he's like, you know what? Yeah, I'll go help Ichigo since he's all alone now and he's not technically with the Soul Society. I kind of like that line of thinking. I was confused. I was like, hey man, you did make a deal with your daddy. You gotta follow the rules, the daddy rules. He gave you your powers back, dog. They did show a scene of Yuryu's dad and Ichigo's dad in his Soul Reaper outfit. Another guy who could have went with them to help them. I want to know so much more about these fathers. They seem to have a rivalry going on here. There's some kind of former rivalry. There's a Kakashi Might Guy type of rivalry happening here with these two, and I'm here for it. I want to know more. There's something that happened between these two. He even tells Ichigo's dad, hey man, you got your powers back, didn't you? And obviously by the black robes, you should know. It's pretty cool, isn't it? So maybe Ichigo's dad lost his powers for a long period of time, and maybe just because Ichigo has unlocked his powers that his are coming back. I don't know. There's a lot of mystery happening there, but the connection is interesting. And he's like, you're the father of the year, huh? Yeah, it was a great conversation. It definitely has mysteries to be solved. I want to see these two daddies step in when the war happens. We're going to need some soldiers, some strong ones as well. This is the former generation that needs to step up for the future generations. So, Ichigo, Chad, Yuryu all head into Hollow Land, and they get turned around. It really gives me the Labyrinth vibes. Have you ever seen The Labyrinth? It's a really good movie, musical type thing. And it's a really good movie, and it's like an adventure through this labyrinth. And that's what this kind of felt like. They ran into regular-looking hollow creatures, tiny little insect hollows. And it's interesting. Aaron Card that aren't necessarily members of the Espada. They aren't strong enough. Good ones, like little kids that are like, hey, we're not that bad. Can we go with you? Hi! Kind of like a joke gimmick. I'm not sure if they're going to come into play later and be important to the story. To me, they just seem like a gag, something for Ichigo to defend these annoying little kid characters that might never be important to the story. But I don't know. They could grow up, and if there's like a 3-year time skip or something, become badass and become important to the story. I do not know, because this is the first time I'm reading it. The Chad and Yuryu end up telling Ichigo, hey man, you step back, we'll fight. And they end up fighting a couple weaklings, little fodder members of the Aaron Card that serve Aizen. We get to see Jin again. Jin is hanging out with the blind dude, and I can't remember his name, like Tosin or something. They're talking, chit-chatting about Ichigo and whatnot. Aizen shows Orihime where that little marble thing went that he took from Rukia. That's going to be really important, so he can, summon an army of Aaron Card. And we get to see the full, squad, the full Akatsuki. So, as you would say as a Naruto fan, but these are the Espada. It's my first, taste of most of them. I've seen about half of them, Grimjow and Yami and Cypher, but then there's a big crew of new ones, and I'm excited to see what they're going to do. It seems like Aizen's telling them all, hey, go back to your castles, hang out. The humans are here, yes, and they're going to cause havoc. The humans are going to try to attack you. Wait for them to come to you. I promise, as Aizen, God Aizen, if anything bad happens, you got Daddy Aizen here. But don't fight unless they come to fight you. Eventually they will come to me if you guys can't handle it. So I see in the future, Ichigo, Chad, and Yuryu are going to have to defeat at least one Espada. And Renji and Rukia show up as well. They show up and they say, hey, you didn't wait for us? Come on, dude. I mean, what are you doing here? And Ichigo goes, what are you doing here? You went when Daddy Yamato and Big Bro showed up. And he's like, well, she's like, well, guess what? Yamato only told my brother to take us back to the Soul Society. And my brother actually wants us to come save your ass. And Ichigo's like, whoa. Byakuya has changed. But he also was like, let them suffer. I don't know. Either way, Renji and Rukia look badass. They've got these scarves on to protect them from the sand, because it's like a sandy desert in the hollow land. They end up fighting fodder enemies for a while. It was cool to see Chad and Yuryu power up and use their new powers. You can tell that Chad is really improved, and I'm happy that he's not going to be left behind. He's not going to be Yamcha'd, and Yuryu's not going to be Krillin. They're not going to be these two human characters that were special early on in their development when the story first started. But now that we have these badass Soul Reapers involved in the story, we're never going to use them again in an important role. So far, they've only fought nobodies, so it's going to be interesting to see if they can even handle themselves against someone like Yami. If Chad can beat Yami, the same guy who messed his day up, that's my prediction. Chad's going to fight Yami and beat him and show him just how strong he is. It's going to be a bruiser versus a brute, buddy. And Yuryu's going to have to show off. I mean, he's one of the last Quincy's, him and his father. So he's got to show Ichigo the power of the bow and arrow. And us as well, the fans. We have to find out what's going on with him. He's got to show that he, especially in the hollow world where his powers as a Quincy are amplified because of all the soul energy, he's got to show that, you know, he can contend with anybody. And I want to see that. Chad, he can just take out one of the weaker Espada, Yami, who I assume ain't a weak dude, but he's obviously not the smartest. I think Chad has a goal there. There's a few members. Renji should take out Cypher, in my opinion, and Grimjow, and our boy Ichigo, obviously. It's just Aizen. Aizen needs an opponent, and I'm thinking my favorite character, the man, the myth, the legend, Kenpachi should be the man to take out Aizen with his sword going all Bankai-like. That's my prediction and my hope, because I like Kenpachi. I do hope that he shows up to help the squad. And I want to see Byakuya. It's been a while. It's been a hot minute since we've seen those two kick-ass take names. They are two of my faves. Byakuya is not my top diggity dogs, but I know he is a top diggity dog of this entire story going forward. He's going to be a major rival for Ichigo as well, to push him to become stronger, to make it so he can hold his hollowification mask on his face for more than 12 seconds. But yeah, that was pretty much it. Right at the end, and then chapter 250, we got to meet Ichigo's next opponent, who was kind of weird, really weird. He says right here, I'm going to read it. Now, brace yourself, Soul Reaper, for Aaron card number 103. Donnie is going to crush you right now. And, we think, well, he's number 103. Like, it doesn't go to triple digits. You're a loser. But we find out any Aaron card with a number above 100 or 100 and up are actually former Espada members that were, thrown out for one reason or another. So it does not mean that this dude isn't an absolute goofball, but he sure looks like an absolute goofball. He even says, do not judge a book by his cover. I'm actually starting to like him once he showed up and was like, actually, I'm kind of a BA. So it looks like this will be Ichigo's first challenge. Or maybe Renji will step in and be like, I'll take care of him. Don't worry about it, Ichigo. The crew splits up here at the end. They end up in this room with a bunch of directions to go. That kind of reminded me of the labyrinth. Ichigo's like, we should stick together. Renji said that obviously you're worried about all of us. You think that you have to fight all the battles. Even Rukia's like, you can't just protect me always. I need to show you that I'm a badass Soul Reaper. Just because I had no powers for so long doesn't mean you have to baby me in these fights. I would not have come here to save Orihime if I didn't think I could handle it, Ichigo. So the crew ends up splitting up. Even Chad and Yuryu, I half expected those two to be like a duo just to be safe, or Rukia to go with Ichigo. No, they seem to have split up evenly. So they even do like a prayer, a Soul Reaper prayer before they go off, and they're like, hey, today, none of us will die, and we will come back together, by the end of it. To me, as a fan of anime and manga, that tells me that one of them might actually die. And that's exciting, because I don't know who, and they all seem important to the story. Chad, maybe, but I hope not. I hope it's not Renji. They're all important characters. I can't see them going. Any one of them. Ryu just got his powers back. This is going to be interesting. I have a feeling one of them's going down. We'll find out next time during my next review. But please don't forget to subscribe, share, and like. I'll talk to you later.
I keep on moving forward, always getting closer. I march until it's over.